Some places don't just hold books, they hold moments your heart never forgets. Imagine a place tucked away from the world, where the only sound is the gentle tap-tap of rain against old glass. Outside, the city is a blur, the windows fogged over with the cool breath of the storm. But in here, everything is warm. A fire crackles softly in the hearth, its golden light dancing across endless rows of wooden shelves. The flames paint stories on the spines of old novels, worn maps, and journals whose pages smell of time itself. Look up, and you'll see an antique ceiling fan turning slowly, its quiet hum a perfect harmony with the rain. Every now and then, a distant roll of thunder murmurs, not with anger, but with a deep, comforting rumble. Like the sky stretching out after a long day, the air is thick with the scent of aged paper and wood smoke, a fragrance of peace. We glide past towering stacks of dusty books, each one a universe waiting to be discovered. Little lamps sit on piles of novels, casting pools of soft light on handwritten labels and forgotten treasures. This isn't just a room, it's a sanctuary, a warm, cozy bubble, untouched by the storm raging just beyond the glass. Let's drift over to a hidden corner, a quiet reading nook tucked away from the main aisles. A soft, cushioned chair waits, still holding the impression of someone who was just here. Next to it, on a small round table, a single candle flickers, its flame swaying gently. A cup of tea sits beside it, a wisp of steam still rising from its surface, a silent invitation. In this cozy corner, the fireplace crackles a little louder, its orange glow washing over an open book left mid-read, its pages held open as if expecting a quick return. Pinned to the wall, old music sheets flutter softly, stirred by the faint drafts as the wind presses against the window pane. It feels like a secret whispered between the storm and the silence, a perfect pocket of tranquility. Now, just listen. The ambience itself becomes the story. The rhythmic patter of the rain, a constant, soothing drumbeat. The soft, intimate crackle of the wood in the fireplace, each pop and hiss a tiny spark of warmth. The distant thunder, rolling in like a gentle heartbeat. And then, the faint, deliberate sound of a page turning somewhere in the quiet. The bookstore feels alive. It breathes. Each sound is a memory from a calmer, slower world. Let your eyes wander over the textures. The smooth, worn leather of an old binding. The soft, diffused light filtering through a dusty lampshade. The mesmerizing sight of raindrops racing each other down the glass. The firelight dances and shifts, telling its own ancient, silent tale in flickers of shadow and gold. We move up slowly, past thick volumes of travelogues promising adventures in faraway lands. We pass slim books of poetry from authors whose names have long been forgotten. Higher still, we find stories that haven't been opened in decades, their secrets sleeping between the covers. The fireplace crackles in response, and there, nestled between two books, is a single feather bookmark, left behind as if waiting for someone to return and finish the story. As the rain outside begins to fall just a little heavier, the scene slowly fades, leaving us in the warm, peaceful dark. Every storm brings someone who needs a quiet place to breathe. The peaceful silence is softly interrupted by the gentle jingle of a bell above the door. Someone has arrived. We don't see their face, only a silhouette against the stormy grey outside, their jacket dripping with rain. They pause for a moment on the mat, carefully wiping their shoes, brushing the water from their shoulders before stepping fully inside. The warm, fragrant air of the bookstore envelops them instantly. As the heavy wooden door swings shut behind them, the roar of the storm is muffled, softened into a distant, almost forgotten whisper. The sanctuary has welcomed a new soul. The camera follows the visitor's hand as it trails lightly across the spines of the old books. Each cover it touches seems to whisper its own story, its own invitation. The sound of the rain outside becomes softer now, a gentle backdrop to the deeper, more present crackle of the fireplace. Another roll of thunder echoes from far away, a comforting reminder of the shelter this place provides from the world outside. The visitor pauses, their fingers stopping at a shelf filled with classics. The camera zooms in slowly, catching the way the warm air makes motes of dust dance like tiny, golden fireflies in the lamplight. The soft glow from the nearby lamp illuminates the gilded edges of the shelves, making the whole corner feel like a treasure chest. Drawn by the warmth, the visitor makes their way to the armchair by the hearth. They sit down, placing a worn novel they've chosen onto their lap. The firelight glows on their hands as they open the book slowly, carefully. The pages catch the reflection of the flames, turning them a beautiful, warm amber. The ambience of the room settles around them, a perfect symphony of sound, the steady rhythm of the rain, the distant song of the thunder, the intimate crackle of the fire, and the faint occasional creak of the old wooden floors as the building settles in for the night. We watch them read, lost in their own world, the firelight shifting and dancing across their face, painting pictures of peace and concentration. On a small table nearby, almost hidden in the shadows, sits a small leather-bound notebook. The visitor's eyes land on it. Curious, they reach out and gently open it. Inside, the pages are filled with elegant, handwritten notes. There are sketches of rainy nights, just like this one, short quotes about peace, stillness, and healing. As they trace the words with their finger, the sound of the thunder outside becomes a little clearer, its timing syncing perfectly with the emotional discovery of this forgotten journal. Perhaps someone left this notebook here long ago, a quiet offering to the soul of the bookstore. Or perhaps it was simply waiting for the right person to find it. The scene fades out slowly, leaving only the warm, enduring glow of the fire. Every storm brings someone who needs a quiet place to breathe. The world outside is a symphony of chaos, a blur of wind and water against cold glass. But in here, time slows down. In here, the storm is just a song, a distant murmur that reminds you of the quiet you found. The old brass bell above the door sings a soft, welcoming note, just a single, gentle chime. A silhouette stands at the threshold, a shape carved from the night and the rain. Water drips from the hem of a dark jacket, pooling for a moment on the worn doormat before being absorbed. A quiet shuffle of shoes, a soft brush of a hand against damp fabric. Then, the heavy wooden door swings shut with a satisfying click, and the roar of the storm is tamed, softened into a background whisper. The air inside is warm, thick with the scent of old paper, leather, and wood smoke. It wraps around you like a familiar blanket, an immediate and welcome embrace against the chill of the evening. The outside world, with all its hurry and noise, is left behind. Here, there is only the gentle hum of peace. The journey inward begins. The first steps inside are always the most sacred. A soft creak from the floorboards underfoot, a sound that says, "Welcome home." Your hand, almost by instinct, reaches out to the nearest shelf. Fingers trail across the spines of books, feeling the raised letters, the smooth and sometimes frayed edges of covers that have been held by countless hands before. Each one is a portal, a silent promise of another world. The leather-bound volumes feel cool and solid, the paperbacks soft and yielding. It's a tactile conversation with history, with stories waiting to be rediscovered. Outside, the rain has softened its frantic drumming against the windows, settling into a steady, rhythmic patter. It's no longer an assault, but a gentle percussion accompanying the deeper, more resonant crackle of the fire just a few steps away. A low, distant roll of thunder rumbles through the floorboards, not as a threat, but as a comforting reminder of the shelter you've found. It's the sound of being safe and sound, protected from the elements. Your gaze drifts along a row of classics, their titles gleaming in the soft lamplight. The light catches the gilt lettering, making the words glow. You pause, your hand hovering over a particular volume. As you pull it from the shelf, a tiny cloud of dust motes rises, dancing in the beam of light, like a swirl of golden fireflies, each one a particle of a bygone era. The air is still, reverent. The shelves stretch up into the shadows, creating canyons and alleyways of literature, each one inviting exploration. The silence here isn't empty. It's full of unspoken stories, of quiet contemplation, of the deep, settled peace that only a room full of books can offer. You hold the chosen book in your hands, feeling its weight, its history, its potential. The warmth of the fireplace calls to you, a magnetic pull toward the heart of the room. You settle into the deep, plush armchair, its worn leather sighing softly as you sink into it. The chair has held many readers, many dreamers, just like you. You place the book, a worn novel with a faded cover, gently on your lap. The firelight flickers and dances, casting long, moving shadows across the room. It paints the walls in hues of orange and gold, making the entire space feel alive, breathing with you. You open the book. The pages, yellowed with age, seem to glow in the reflection of the flames. The text comes alive, illuminated by the fire's gentle light. The world outside continues its somber song, the soft drumming of rain, the deep baritone of thunder. the faint whistle of wind finding a crack in the old window frame. The old building settles around you with a groan of its wooden bones, a comforting sound that speaks of age and endurance. Your focus narrows, drawing into the world held within the pages. The firelight shifts across your face, highlighting a cheekbone, a brow, as you become lost in the narrative. Time dissolves. There is only you, the fire, the storm, and the story. The chair holds you, the room protects you, and the book transports you. This is a moment of pure, unadulterated peace, a sanctuary carved out of the heart of a stormy night. Your gaze drifts from the page for just a moment, drawn to a small table nearby, almost hidden in the warm shadows. Upon it sits a small, unassuming leather notebook. It looks old, well-loved. Curiosity, gentle and quiet, prompts you to reach for it. The leather is soft and supple to the touch, worn smooth by time and hands. You open it carefully, a sense of reverence for what might be inside. The pages are filled with elegant, sloping handwriting. There are notes, fragments of thoughts, sketches of rainy city streets, seen through a window pane. Short quotes about peace, stillness, and the quiet journey of healing are scattered throughout. The soul finds its rest in the quiet moments. One reads, "Rain is not an ending, but a cleansing." The thunder outside, as if on cue, rolls a little closer. Its sound a little clearer, a deep, resonant echo to the words you're reading. It feels like a conversation across time. Who left this notebook here? A fellow traveler seeking refuge from their own storm. A kindred spirit who understood the magic of a place like this. Perhaps it was left intentionally, a small beacon for the next person who needed to find it. A gift from one quiet soul to another. As you close the notebook, the fire casts a final warm glow over its cover, and the room settles back into its peaceful, timeless rhythm. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this quiet moment, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss our next journey. See you next time. Some stories aren't read, they're felt. They whisper to you from between the pages, from the quiet corners of old rooms, from the steady rhythm of rain against a window pane. Tonight, we're not just reading a story, we're stepping inside one. Welcome to a place where time slows, and the world outside fades away. The rain has softened now, hasn't it? It's no longer a downpour, but a steady, gentle drumming on the roof and glass. It's a sound that doesn't demand attention, but rather invites you to listen closer. Inside this little bookstore, everything seems to breathe in rhythm with the rain. Can you hear it? That subtle, deep creak of old wood. The shelves packed with countless stories are expanding ever so slightly in the warmth of the fire. They've stood here for years, holding dreams and histories, and they have a voice of their own if you listen. Look up. The old ceiling fan turns with a patient, lazy grace. Each mark, each imperfection, is a chapter in the bookstore's own secret history. It's a low, distant rumble that rolls across the sky like a giant turning over in its sleep. It's a sound that feels ancient and comforting, a deep bass note in the symphony of the rain. It doesn't intrude. It deepens the sense of sanctuary within these walls. The storm is outside, but in here, we are safe. We are surrounded by stories, warmed by the fire, and sheltered from the world. Everything is alive in its own quiet way, whispering its secrets to anyone who is willing to slow down and simply be. Let's pause here, by this isle of forgotten classics. There's a pull, an instinct, to reach for one. This one, perhaps. The leather cover is soft and worn smooth by time. As you gently pull it from its place, it seems to sigh, releasing a puff of dust that glitters in the firelight. But something else comes with it. A small, folded piece of paper, thin and delicate, flutters down like a dry leaf and lands silently on the worn wooden floor. What could it be? A forgotten bookmark, a shopping list from a decade ago. You bend down, your fingers brushing against the cool floorboards as you pick it up. The paper is old, browned at the edges. You carefully unfold it. There's no long revealing letter, no dramatic confession, just a single line, written in elegant, looping cursive. It reads, "If you found this, slow down." That's all. It's not a command, but an invitation. A gentle reminder from a stranger, a kindred spirit who once stood in this very spot and felt the same rush of the world outside, the same need to just stop. A faint smile touches your lips. It feels like a secret handshake across time. Who left it? When was it? A student overwhelmed with exams? A traveler weary from a long journey? It doesn't matter. The message is for you, right now. You carefully fold the note and slip it back into the book, between the pages where it was found, leaving the discovery for the next person who needs to hear its quiet wisdom. As you slide the book back into its place, the fire in the hearth crackles loudly for a moment, a sudden, bright flare of orange and gold. It's as if the room itself is agreeing, affirming the small, profound truth you just discovered. The flames dance, casting long, wavering shadows that glide across the walls and ceiling, making the spines of the books seem to shimmer. The bookstore has shared one of its secrets. There's more to discover, of course. The best-kept secrets are often hidden in plain sight, just out of reach. Against the far wall, a tall wooden ladder leans against the highest shelves. It's as old as the bookstore itself, its rungs polished smooth by years of use. With a gentle push, it slides along its brass rail, the wheels making a soft, rumbling sound on the floor. It's an oddly satisfying sound, a sound of purpose and exploration. Let's climb. The first few rungs are easy. As you ascend, the perspective of the room begins to change. The fire becomes a warm, glowing eye below. The checkered floor tiles form a mosaic that seems to stretch out into the shadows. The air up here is different too. It's warmer, closer to the high ceiling, and the scent of paper is richer, more concentrated. The sound of the rain is softer now, muted by the sheer volume of books that line the walls, each one a small, rectangular block of silence and insulation. Up here, on the upper shelves, the books feel different. They are heavier, denser, bound in thick cloth and leather. These aren't the popular paperbacks from the front tables. These are the elders of the bookstore. Some have probably not been touched in years, maybe even decades. You can see a fine layer of dust resting on their tops, a soft grey blanket undisturbed by time. Running a finger along a row of spines, you leave a clean, dark line in the dust, revealing the glint of gold leaf lettering beneath. The titles are formal, academic, histories, philosophies, forgotten sciences. Who was the last person to climb this ladder and seek wisdom from these pages? The thunder murmurs again, even farther away now, a distant thought on the edge of hearing. Up here, you feel completely disconnected from the outside world, hidden away in a fortress of knowledge. Time seems to lose its forward momentum here. What is a minute? What is an hour? It doesn't seem to matter. You find a comfortable spot, sitting on one of the wide, sturdy steps of the ladder, your back resting against the shelves. The book you chose earlier rests in your lap. The firelight flickers all the way up here, its warm glow reaching into the high corners of the room, casting your shadow long and still between the aisles. The shadows dance and sway, making it feel as if the shelves themselves are breathing slowly, in and out. You open the book. The pages turn with a soft, satisfying rustle. And will continue long after you've turned the final page. In this moment, the bookstore feels like it exists outside of the normal flow of time. The world can wait. The deadlines, the notifications, the noise. It's all on the other side of that rain-streaked glass. In here, there is only the story, the fire, and the rain. As the flames in the hearth pop gently one last time, casting a final warm glow across the room, we can let ourselves drift in this timeless space. Thank you for sharing this quiet moment with me. I hope you found a little peace between the shelves. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more peaceful escapes. Until next time, be well. Even when the storm grows louder, some places never lose their warmth. Come inside, out of the wind and the rain. Listen, the thunder is a distant rumble now, a deep and rolling echo that reminds us of the storm's power, but from a safe distance. Through the tall windows, you can see the rain streaking down the glass, each drop catching the warm light from within. A sudden flash of lightning illuminates the street for just a moment, a stark, beautiful contrast to the gentle glow of the bookstore. Inside, the fire in the hearth burns brightly, its flames dancing with a life of their own, completely untroubled by the storm raging just beyond the walls. The warm light pools on the wooden floors, glinting off the spines of countless books, each one holding a story, a world waiting to be discovered. The air is still and warm, filled with the soft, crackling sound of burning wood and the gentle hum of an old ceiling fan turning slowly overhead. It's a haven, a sanctuary, where the chaos of the world is kept at bay. The sounds of the storm are not a threat here. They are a soundtrack, a percussive accompaniment to the quiet peace found within these walls. The rain against the window panes becomes a soft, steady rhythm, a lullaby for a weary mind. You can feel the tension in your shoulders begin to release, your breath deepening, slowing to match the calm, unhurried pace of this timeless space. This is a place to simply be, to let the outside world continue on its frantic course while you remain here, sheltered and serene. Let your gaze drift towards the fireplace, the heart of this cozy room. Watch the flames as they lick and curl around the seasoned logs. They shift and settle with a soft, woody sigh, sending a shower of bright orange sparks up the chimney, like fleeting stars in a dark sky. The embers below glow with an intense, deep red, a concentrated core of warmth that radiates out into the room, chasing away the chill of the rainy night. Each crackle from the fire seems deliberate, a small, percussive sound that punctuates the quiet. It's a comforting, ancient sound, one that has brought solace to people for centuries. It speaks of safety, of shelter, of a home. You can almost feel the heat on your skin, a gentle, penetrating warmth that soothes and relaxes. The fire is a living thing, constantly changing, yet fundamentally constant in its purpose, to provide light and warmth. The interplay of light and shadow it creates is mesmerizing. The flames cast long, dancing shadows on the walls and across the towering bookshelves, making the room feel both intimate and vast. You find yourself lost in the hypnotic movement, your thoughts quieting down until all that remains is the sound and the sight of the fire. The storm outside can do its worst. The thunder can roll and the wind can howl, but in here, by the fire, there is only a profound sense of peace. It's a simple, uncomplicated comfort, the kind that doesn't require words or actions, just presence. The minutes stretch on, and you lose track of time, completely absorbed in the elemental beauty of the fire, feeling grounded and secure in its steady, reassuring presence. The pull of the fire is irresistible. You find a comfortable, worn armchair and pull it a little closer to the hearth, angling it just right to catch the full measure of its warmth. As you settle into the soft cushions, you pull a thick woolen scarf from your bag and wrap it loosely around your neck, a small personal comfort against the distant memory of the cold outside. A book lies open in your lap, its pages filled with words you were reading just a short while ago. But now, your eyes are no longer following the lines of text. Your focus has shifted. You are no longer reading, you are listening. Listening to the symphony of the night, the deep, resonant crackle of the logs in the fireplace, the soft, rhythmic patter of rain against the glass, and the occasional, distant rumble of thunder as the storm slowly moves on. You take a deep breath, inhaling the unique scent of the room, a blend of wood smoke, aging paper, and rain-washed air. You exhale slowly, feeling a sense of profound contentment settle over you. This moment is perfect in its simplicity. There is nothing to do, nowhere to be, no one to answer to. There is only this chair, this fire, this room. It's a rare and precious opportunity to simply exist, to be present in the here and now, without the constant pressure of thoughts about the past or worries about the future. The fire continues to crackle, a steady, comforting heartbeat in the quiet room. The rain is just a whisper now. It's time to go, but you know you'll carry the warmth and peace of this bookstore with you, long after you've stepped back out into the night. Thanks for spending this quiet time with us. If you enjoyed this peaceful escape, please consider liking this video and subscribing for more moments of calm. See you again soon. When midnight arrives, the world grows quieter, but the bookstore stays awake. As the city sleeps, this little corner of the world comes alive in a different way. The clock on the wall ticks with a slow, steady rhythm, marking time not in hours, but in moments of peace. Each tick is a gentle reminder that we have this space, this quiet, all to ourselves. The rain outside has found its voice, a deep and steady drumming against the glass. It's not a storm to be feared, but a lullaby sung by the night. Listen closely, and you can hear the soft whisper of the fireplace, its embers glowing like a warm, beating heart in the center of the room. The flames have settled, their dance now a slow, mesmerizing sway. Shadows stretch and retreat across the ceiling, painting the room in soft shades of gray and gold. It's a gentle, living darkness, a world away from the noise and hurry of the day. Here, in the late hour, the bookstore holds its breath, waiting with you. This is a time for reflection, for quiet contemplation, a sanctuary built of paper, wood, and rain. Let the sounds wash over you, a current of calm carrying you deeper into the night. The silence here is not empty. It's full. It's filled with the stories resting on the shelves, with the history etched into the wooden floors, with the gentle hum of the rain and the fire. Let's take a walk. Feel the give of the old floorboards beneath your feet, each step softened, almost absorbed by the wood. The bookshelves seem to grow taller in the dim light, their spines like silent sentinels guarding ancient secrets and new adventures. Running a hand along them, you can almost feel the pulse of the countless tales they contain. In the distance, a low rumble of thunder rolls across the sky. It's not sharp or sudden, but a deep, resonant sound, like the turning of a great page in the heavens. It doesn't startle, it soothes, a reminder of the world outside, kept at a gentle distance. The entire bookstore feels like it's wrapped in a protective blanket of quiet, a haven where the only demands are those of your own thoughts. It's a space to wander, not just with your feet, but with your mind. Let your thoughts drift along the aisles, exploring forgotten corners and rediscovering parts of yourself. The air is thick with the scent of old paper and warm wood, a perfume of peace. Drawn toward the back of the store, we find a large wooden desk, a scholar's retreat. A single lamp casts a warm, golden circle of light, creating an island of focus in the sea of shadows. Within this circle lies a world in progress, papers scattered, books left open, their pages still holding the last reader's place. An ink pen rests beside a half-written letter, its thoughts paused mid-sentence. A beautifully drawn, folded map hints at journeys both real and imagined. Let's sit here for a moment. Take a seat in the worn leather chair that has held so many dreamers before. Reach out and turn the page of an open book. Hear that sound. That soft, crisp rustle of paper is a sound of pure satisfaction, a small, perfect moment. Watch as the firelight from across the room flickers and dances across the desk's polished surface, making the ink on the page gleam. This isn't just a desk, it's a command center for the imagination, a place where thoughts can take flight. It's a quiet promise that even in the deepest night, creativity and wonder are still awake, waiting for you to join them. Let's drift back toward the window, drawn by the call of the rain. Pressing closer to the glass, you can see the world outside transformed. The streetlights are no longer sharp points of light, but soft, blurry stars, their reflections streaking down the pane in rivers of color. Each drop of rain that traces a path down the window tells its own tiny story. The thunder returns, a gentle, comforting rumble that seems to wrap around the bookstore, holding it close. It's a constant, deep bass note in the symphony of the night, a sound that, instead of breaking the calm, only deepens it. Inside, the warmth is a constant embrace. The fire continues its steady work, each soft crackle a punctuation mark in the long, peaceful sentence of the night. The clock ticks on, a faithful companion in the quiet. There is nothing to do, nowhere to be, just this moment, just this place. As the sounds of the rain, the fire, and the ticking clock merge into one, let them guide you into a state of deep, untroubled rest. Thank you for spending this midnight hour with us. We hope you found a little peace here. Some shelves hold more than books. They hold time itself, Imagine a place where every corner whispers a story, where the air itself feels ancient and full of secrets. We're going deeper now, into the very heart of the bookstore, to a place many visitors never find. The air changes here, growing warmer, scented with old paper, leather, and the faint, sweet smell of decaying wood. The shelves are titans, stretching up into the shadows, their dark wood polished by generations of hands. They groan under the weight of their cargo, not just books, but centuries of thought, of dreams, of forgotten lives. Look closely at the spines. The gold lettering has faded, the leather is cracked and worn, but the titles are still there, hinting at worlds of adventure, romance, and arcane knowledge. It's a library of ghosts, a repository of silent voices waiting to be heard again. The rain, which was our constant companion, now feels like a distant memory, a gentle drumming far, far away. Here, in this secluded sanctuary, the world outside ceases to exist. The only reality is the towering walls of books, the soft, warm light that seems to emanate from the pages themselves, and the profound, comforting silence. Dust motes dance in the amber light, each one a tiny star in this quiet galaxy. You can feel the history in the stillness, the collected weight of all the hours spent in this very spot, lost in the pages of a book. It's a feeling of being completely detached from the rush of modern life, a return to a slower, more deliberate pace. Time doesn't just slow down here, it bends, it loops, it settles like a fine layer of dust over everything. Each book is a portal, not just to a story, but to the moment it was last read, the hands that held it, the eyes that scanned its pages. Let's reach for one. Your hand hesitates, hovering over a particularly large volume bound in dark, unmarked leather. It feels heavy, substantial, as if it contains more than just paper and ink. As you draw it from the shelf, there's a soft scraping sound, wood against leather, and the spine lets out a gentle creak. A sigh of release after years, perhaps decades, of undisturbed rest. The book feels cool and solid in your hands. There's no title on the cover, no clue as to what lies within. It's an invitation to the unknown. You carry it carefully, as one might carry a fragile relic, back towards the faint flickering light that promises warmth and comfort. The floorboards murmur under your feet, their own ancient language accompanying your short journey. The air seems to part before you and close in behind you, sealing you within this pocket of forgotten time. Now, let the exploration begin. The cover opens with a whisper, and the sound of the first page turning is a delicate rustle, crisp and distinct. It's not the flimsy paper of a new paperback. This page has texture, it has weight. You can almost feel the fibers of the paper, the slight indentations of the letterpress. It sounds like autumn leaves skittering across a stone path. Each turn is a deliberate act, a ritual. The pages are yellowed with age, soft to the touch, and they release a faint, earthy scent as they move. The firelight dances across the dense, black text, making the letters seem to shift and swim. It's mesmerizing, this simple, repetitive sound of turning pages. It's a sound of discovery, of journeying without moving, of a quiet conversation between you and an author long since passed into silence. Outside, a low roll of thunder answers the whisper of the paper, a deep, resonant rumble that makes the windows vibrate almost imperceptibly. It's a reminder of the storm, but it feels a world away, a gentle giant turning in its sleep. The bookstore holds you safe, cocooned in its warm embrace, while the pages continue to turn, one after another, each with its own unique voice. The fire, our faithful beacon in this sea of shadows, is beginning to dim. Its vibrant dance has slowed to a gentle sway, the logs glowing like sleepy embers. It's time to tend to it, to coax it back to life. You walk back to the hearth, the floorboards greeting you like an old friend. The air near the fireplace is intensely warm, a sharp contrast to the cooler air among the shelves. You pick up a new log from the brass bin beside the hearth. It's solid, heavy, and smells of pine and earth. Placing it onto the glowing bed of coals requires care. For a moment, the flames seem to shy away, sputtering and sinking. But then, with a soft whoosh, they lick at the new wood, finding purchase. Tiny sparks fly upwards like a flurry of fireflies, and a low, satisfying crackle begins to build. The sound is one of pure comfort. It's not just a sound. You can feel its warmth on your skin, see its light pushing back the darkness. The shadows in the room, which had been growing long and bold, retreat once more. They dance and flicker on the walls, stretching and shrinking with the rhythm of the flames. The spines of the books seem to glow, their faded gold lettering catching the light. The whole room seems to breathe a collective sigh of contentment. settling deeper into the cozy quiet. The new log catches fully now, and the crackling grows louder, warmer, a steady, rhythmic song of heat and light. It's a primal, reassuring sound, a sound that has comforted humans for millennia. In this moment, you are connected not just to the stories in the books, but to a long line of ancestors who also sat by a fire, seeking warmth and light in the darkness. The bookstore is alive, breathing with the pulse of the fire. The book now lies closed in your lap. Your hands rest on its worn leather cover, feeling the gentle warmth it has absorbed from the fire. The time for reading has passed. Now is a time for listening, for simply being. The world has been pared down to its most essential, most beautiful elements. Close your eyes and listen. First, there is the rain. It's a constant, gentle drumming on the roof, and a soft hissing against the window panes. It's a soothing, cleansing sound, washing the world clean outside while you remain snug and dry within. It's the sound of nature's quiet persistence. Then, there is the fire. Its crackling and popping is the heart of the room, a warm, lively counterpoint to the soft whisper of the rain. It speaks of safety, of comfort, of the hearth as the center of the home. Occasionally, a log shifts and settles with a soft thud, sending a fresh cascade of sparks up the chimney. Finally, listen for the thunder. It's no longer a commanding roar, but a distant, muffled murmur. It rolls in from far away, a deep bass note in this beautiful, natural symphony. It's the sound of immense power kept at a safe distance, a reminder of the storm's wildness that only serves to enhance the feeling of sanctuary inside. These three sounds, rain, fire, and distant thunder, weave together, creating a complex and deeply peaceful soundscape. There is nothing else, no traffic, no voices, no distractions, just this perfect, quiet moment. Time itself seems to have paused, stretching out into a long, blissful stillness. Your breathing slows, matching the gentle rhythm of the rain. The warmth of the fire seeps into your bones, and the world outside, with all its demands and worries, fades away until it is nothing more than a faint echo. This is a moment of pure presence, a quiet communion with the elements and the accumulated peace of this ancient place. The embers glow softly, and the rain continues its steady lullaby as everything fades to a gentle, quiet close. Thanks for watching. Sometimes the rain feels like it's writing its own quiet story on the glass, a gentle, temporary script that only lasts until the next drop washes it away. But tonight, that story is ours. Welcome to a small bookstore tucked away from the storm, a place where the world outside fades and the only sounds are the crackle of the fire and the steady rhythm of rain on the windows. There's something magical about watching a storm from a place of warmth and safety. Here, close to the window, each raindrop is a tiny world. They gather together, hesitating for a moment before tracing a slow path down the pane. Outside, the streetlights bleed into soft, golden rivers of light, blurred and beautiful through the water. It's a painting in motion, a quiet ballet of light and shadow. The gentle crackle of the fireplace behind us is a constant, warm heartbeat, a promise of comfort against the cold, wet night. The scent of old paper and warm wood hangs in the air, a familiar perfume for anyone who loves stories. The world feels simple here, reduced to the contrast of warm and cold, light and dark, inside and out. It's a moment to just be, to watch the world wash itself clean. Let's step back from the window for a moment. Put the book down. Sometimes, the best stories aren't found on the page, but in the spaces between sounds. Stand here, hands in your pockets, and just listen. The rain isn't just a single sound, it's a whole orchestra. There's the soft, persistent tapping on the glass, the gentle drumming on the roof above, and the distant, muffled sound as it meets the pavement outside. Far away, a soft rumble of thunder rolls across the sky, not with anger, but with a deep, calming presence. It's the bass note in this symphony of a stormy night. The old building seems to breathe with the wind, a quiet creak of wood here, a gentle sigh there. It's alive. In this moment, the bookstore isn't just a shop, it's a sanctuary, a sturdy ship sailing through a gentle storm, keeping us safe and sound from everything else. It's a reminder that even when the world is loud, there are quiet corners waiting for us. Let's wander over to the heart of the store, where new adventures are waiting. This heavy wooden table is always my favorite spot. It's laden with fresh stories, the ink barely settled on their pages. New arrivals, the sign says, a quiet invitation. As we circle the table, the warm lamplight catches on the glossy covers, making the colors deep and rich. A stray bookmark peeks out from between the pages of one, a sign that someone has already started their journey. The firelight dances across the spines, making them flicker and glow. Each book is a promise, a doorway to another time, another place, another life. You can almost feel the potential humming in the air around them. The rain continues its steady beat against the windows, a perfect, unchanging rhythm to accompany our quiet exploration. It's the perfect soundtrack for choosing your next escape, your next world to get lost in. The thunder is a little closer now, its voice deeper, more resonant, but it still feels more like a gentle giant turning in its sleep than an angry storm. Let's turn our attention to the source of this room's warmth, the fire. Watch the flames as they rise and fall, a mesmerizing dance of orange and gold. They climb the logs, lick at the blackened brick, and then settle back into a steady, comforting glow. It's a living thing, this fire, ancient and hypnotic. As the rain and thunder blend together outside, the fireplace becomes the anchor of our little haven. Its warmth radiates outward, pushing back the chill of the night, creating a bubble of pure peace. Here, in this perfect balance of storm and shelter, sound and silence, it's easy to let go. The worries of the day melt away, just like the raindrops on the warm glass. There is nothing to do, nowhere to be, except right here, in this moment of perfect, quiet contentment. As the flames soften and the storm sings its lullaby, let yourself drift. Let the peace settle over you. Thank you for spending this quiet evening with us. If you found a moment of peace here, we'd love for you to subscribe and join us for our next escape. Until then, may your nights be calm and your stories be many. There's a chair by the fire where time forgets to move. The world outside, with its hurry and its noise, fades to a distant murmur. Here, in the quiet heart of this old bookstore, there's only the gentle rhythm of rain against the window panes and the steady, comforting crackle of the hearth. Imagine pulling a heavy wooden chair across the floor, its legs whispering against the worn floorboards. The sound is a soft, deliberate scrape, a small act of claiming a space for yourself, a moment of peace. You settle into the chair, the old wood groaning softly, as if in welcome. Your hands rest in your lap, fingers uncurling, the tension of the day beginning to melt away. The firelight flickers, casting a warm, golden glow that dances across the chair's smooth, worn edges, illuminating the grain of the wood and the history held within it. It paints shifting patterns on the floor, on the towering shelves of books that stand like silent, watchful guardians all around you. Each flicker is a soft breath, a living pulse in the quiet room. The rain outside is a steady, gentle drumming, a soothing lullaby that washes the city clean. It's a sound that encourages you to turn inward, to find the stillness that waits beneath the surface of a busy mind. You can feel the warmth from the fireplace begin to seep into your clothes, chasing away the chill of the damp evening. It's a deep, penetrating warmth that feels like a blanket wrapped around your shoulders, a gentle embrace. Your shoulders begin to drop, your posture softens. The world is reduced to this small, perfect circle of warmth and light. The fire whispers its ancient stories, the rain answers from outside, and you are simply here, held between the two, perfectly still. The heat from the fire grows, a comforting presence that you can feel on your cheeks and the backs of your hands. You inch the chair just a little closer, finding that perfect distance where the warmth is strong but not overpowering. Now you can truly watch the fire, lose yourself in its hypnotic dance. The logs, once solid and dark, are now glowing canvases of orange, red, and gold. They shift and settle with a soft, woody sigh, sending a cascade of bright embers tumbling down onto the hearth. Each one is a tiny, fleeting star. You watch them glow with intense heat, then slowly fade to black, like memories dimming. Tiny sparks, like fireflies, lift from the flames, spiraling up the chimney on currents of warm air, only to vanish into the darkness above. Their journey is short but brilliant. The sound of the fire becomes the dominant voice in the room. It's a complex symphony of snaps, crackles, and pops. A sharp crack as a pocket of sap explodes. A low, continuous hiss as moisture is driven from the wood. A deep, resonant whoosh as a log catches fully and a new plume of flame The sound is both energetic and profoundly calming. It fills the space, pushing the sound of the rain into the background. The steady drumming on the glass is still there, a constant, gentle rhythm, but it's softer now, a supporting harmony to the fire's melody. Far away, a low rumble of thunder rolls across the sky. It's not a sudden, startling clap, but a slow, drawn-out sound, like something ancient and immense, turning over in its sleep. It doesn't disturb the peace, it deepens it, reminding you of the vast, wild world outside this cozy sanctuary. Here, you are safe, sheltered, and warm. The fire crackles on, a timeless, mesmerizing rhythm. Each log burns down, collapsing into a bed of glowing coals, a foundation of light and heat. The air smells faintly of wood smoke and old paper, a scent that speaks of comfort, history, and quiet contemplation. You are anchored in this moment, listening to the conversation between the fire, the rain, and the distant thunder. On a small table beside your chair, a book lies open, its pages illuminated by the flickering firelight. It rests there, patient and unassuming, left open as if its reader was only called away for a moment. You don't reach for it. You don't feel the need to read, to fill the silence with words. The presence of the book is enough. It's a symbol of all the stories held within these walls, all the worlds waiting to be discovered. But for now, this world, this moment, is the only one that matters. The warm air rising from the fireplace creates a gentle current in the room, and the pages of the open book flutter softly, almost imperceptibly. They lift and settle, as if the book is breathing along with you. A simple bookmark, a thin ribbon of dark red silk, rests between two chapters. It marks a pause in a story, a place to return to. It's a promise of continuation, but there is no urgency. Time has a different quality here. It doesn't march forward, it pools and deepens. The scene is one of complete stillness, of quiet anticipation without expectation. The silence does the work, now. It's not an empty silence, but a rich and full one. It's filled with the low crackle of the fire, the soft patter of the rain, the scent of old books, and the gentle glow of the hearth. It's a silence that allows your thoughts to settle, like dust motes in a sunbeam. There is nothing to do, nowhere to be, no problem to solve. The invitation is simply to be present, to observe the quiet beauty of the moment. The firelight catches the gilt lettering on the spines of nearby books, making them gleam in the dimness. Each one is a silent invitation, a door to another place, another time. But you remain in your chair, content to simply watch, to listen, to be. The open book, the waiting bookmark, the silent shelves, they are all part of the deep, restful peace of this room. You lean back, letting your head rest against the high back of the wooden chair. The warmth has fully seeped into you now, a deep, bone-weary comfort that unravels every last knot of tension. You close your eyes. The darkness behind your eyelids isn't empty. It's filled with the soft, pulsing red-orange glow of the fire, seen through closed lids. The world outside the room, outside this moment, ceases to exist. There is only the here and now. Your breathing slows, finding a natural, easy rhythm. A slow inhale, a long, soft exhale. You can feel the gentle rise and fall of your chest, a quiet anchor in the stillness. Your awareness narrows to the simple, elemental sounds that surround you. The fire is a constant, gentle crackling in your ears, a sound of warmth and safety. The rain is a soft, percussive hush against the glass, a sound of cleansing and release. And the distant thunder, rolling in from far away, is a deep, resonant bass note that underscores the tranquility of the scene. It's a reminder of nature's power, but from a safe and comfortable distance. Nothing else matters. The to-do lists, the worries, the plans for tomorrow, they have all dissolved, washed away by the rain, consumed by the fire. This is a moment of pure being, unburdened by the past or the future. It's a long pause, a deep, restorative breath for the soul. The only movement is the flicker of the flames and the slow, steady rhythm of your own breathing. Time itself seems to have paused with you, holding its breath in the quiet, firelit room. As the minutes stretch on, the distinction between the sounds begins to blur. The fire, the rain, the thunder, and your own heartbeat all merge into a single, unified song of peace. You drift in this gentle space, suspended in warmth and sound, completely at rest. The scene slowly begins to fade, your focus softening, pulling back from the chair, from the room, until all that remains is the soft, pulsating glow of the embers and the gentle, unending sound of the rain. The storm keeps moving, but inside, time stays still. The wind presses against the old window panes, a steady, insistent murmur, but it can't get in. Here, sheltered among the shelves, the only sound is the gentle rustle of a page turning, a slow, deliberate motion, the paper whispering as it lifts, hesitates for a moment in the warm air, and then settles softly on the other side. Outside, The rain begins to fall with more purpose, each drop tapping a distinct note against the glass, creating a rhythmic, percussive score that accompanies the silence within. The fireplace, a constant, comforting presence, hums a low, steady tune, its flames licked at the seasoned wood, releasing a soft crackle now and then, a punctuation mark in the quiet conversation between the storm and the hearth. The firelight flickers, casting long, dancing shadows that stretch and retreat across the wooden floor, making the room feel alive, breathing in time with the weather. It's a place out of time, where the world outside can rage on, but in here, there's only the soft glow of the fire, the steady patter of the rain, and the quiet promise held within the pages of a book. The air is thick with the scent of old paper, leather bindings, and a hint of wood smoke, a fragrance that speaks of stories told and stories yet to be discovered. The bookstore settles into a deeper, more profound quiet. The initial sounds of the storm and the fire have now blended into a single, cohesive atmosphere, a blanket of sound that is both present and unobtrusive. It's the kind of quiet that has weight, a tangible presence that fills the spaces between the shelves. A floorboard overhead lets out a faint, drawn-out creak, a sound of the old building settling, adjusting to the warmth of the fire and the cool dampness of the evening. It's not a startling noise, but a gentle reminder of the history held within these walls. A nearby shelf, packed tightly with novels, gives a soft, wooden sigh as the heat from the fireplace reaches it, the wood expanding almost imperceptibly. It's a sound you would miss if you weren't listening, a tiny detail in the rich tapestry of the room's ambience. Far away, a low rumble of thunder rolls across the sky. It's not a sharp, cracking sound, but a soft, rounded one, its edges smoothed by distance. It doesn't break the calm, it deepens it, adding another layer to the symphony of the storm. The sound travels, a deep bass note that vibrates almost more than it's heard, a reminder of the power of the storm that rages miles away, yet feels entirely separate from this peaceful sanctuary. Nothing disturbs the stillness. The world has been reduced to this single room, a haven of tranquility where the only movement is the slow dance of flames and the gentle fall of rain. The visitor is seated now, lost in the world, held within the book. Their focus is absolute, a quiet intensity in the way their eyes move, tracking each line of text from left to right, then dropping down to the next. The world outside, the storm, the very room they sit in it, has all faded away, replaced by the narrative unfolding on the page. The firelight, a loyal companion, dances across the margins, its warm, golden glow illuminating the crisp black ink. The light catches the texture of the paper, highlighting the subtle fibers and the gentle curve of the page. The camera holds this moment, allowing the scene to breathe, to exist without interruption. There's no rush, no urgency. Time seems to slow down, stretching to accommodate the reader's pace. Each turn of the page is a deliberate, unhurried act, a physical transition from one part of the story to the next. The rain outside maintains its steady, soothing rhythm, a constant backdrop that never demands attention, never rushes. It's a sound that encourages contemplation, a gentle percussion that marks the passing of time without hastening it. The air is still, charged with the energy of focused thought. It's a moment of pure, uninterrupted connection between the reader and the story, between the quiet of the room and the calm it inspires. The only journey happening here is the one through the written word, a silent adventure taken in the heart of the storm. The camera begins to drift, pulling away from the reader, letting them recede into the soft focus of the background. Their form becomes a silhouette, a quiet figure still engrossed in their book, but no longer the central point of the scene. The focus shifts to the sounds themselves, the pure, unadulterated ambience of the space. The rain is the most prominent voice, a constant, lulling patter against the window, a sound that washes over everything. It's clean, pure, a sound of nature's persistence. Beneath it, the fire crackles and hisses, a living entity in the hearth. You can hear the wood shifting as it burns, a soft pop as a pocket of sap ignites, the low, steady hum of combustion. It's a warm, organic sound, a counterpoint to the cool sound of the rain. Faintly, from outside, you can just make out the sound of the wind, not a howl, but a low, mournful sigh as it moves through the trees and around the corners of the building. It's a distant sound, a reminder of the world beyond these walls, but it feels muffled, kept at bay. And then there is the sound of silence itself. The books stand in neat, ordered rows, sentinels of stories, guardians of knowledge. They are silent, but their presence is palpable. They hold centuries of thought, of imagination, of history, all contained within their bindings, waiting patiently. The room is a library of sounds and silences, a place where the storm continues its journey. But time, for a little while longer, remains perfectly, wonderfully still. Every storm knows when to slow down. The fierce downpour that once hammered against the windows has started to soften. The constant, driving rhythm is giving way to something more gentle, more thoughtful. You can hear the change now, can't you? The frantic drumming has turned into a calmer patter. Each drop feels more distinct, as if the sky is taking a breath between each one. They land with a soft tap, a gentle reminder of the tempest that just passed. The water that gushed through the gutters is now a steady, quiet stream. Looking out, you can see the puddles in the street. Before, they were a chaotic dance of 1,000 tiny splashes. Now, the ripples spread out slowly, gracefully, their circles expanding and fading with a peaceful languor. It's like the world outside is finally catching its breath, settling into a state of quiet repose. Inside this cozy bookstore, however, things remain wonderfully unchanged. The fire in the hearth continues its steady, comforting burn. It didn't waver during the height of the storm, and it doesn't waver now. Its light paints the room in shades of amber and gold, casting long, soft shadows that dance gently on the walls. The flames lick at the logs, a silent, unwavering companion against the fading rain. This constant, gentle warmth is the heart of the room, a beacon of tranquility. The scent of old paper, a hint of leather from the book bindings, and the earthy smell of the fire mingle with the clean, fresh scent of rain-washed air drifting in. It's a perfect harmony of the indoors and the outdoors, a moment of transition where the wildness of nature meets the quiet comfort of this sanctuary. The rain continues to ease, its voice becoming a whisper, a gentle murmur that lulls you into a state of deep calm. The world outside is slowly coming back into focus. The thick fog that had condensed on the window panes, blurring the view into a watercolor wash of light and shadow, has begun to recede. It's a slow retreat, like a curtain being drawn back bit by bit. The edges of the glass are clearing first, revealing the night beyond with newfound clarity. You can start to make out the shapes of the buildings across the street, their outlines no longer softened by the mist. The streetlights, which were once just hazy orbs of diffused yellow, are sharpening. Their glow is more defined now, casting long, clear reflections on the wet pavement below. The light cuts through the darkness with a quiet confidence, no longer fighting against a torrent of rain. The world feels cleaner, sharper. The whole atmosphere of the night has shifted. The energy of the storm, that vibrant, almost electric feeling, has dissipated. In its place, a profound stillness has settled over everything. The air feels heavier, but in a comforting way, as if weighted down with peace. It's a quiet that feels earned, a silence that follows a great and powerful symphony. Inside, the visitor at the table remains perfectly still, a silent observer of this gentle transformation. Their hands are resting on the polished wood of the table, palms down, as if feeling the steady, solid presence beneath them. Their gaze is fixed on the clearing window, watching the night reveal itself once more. There's no impatience, no desire to move, just a quiet appreciation for the moment, for the simple, beautiful act of the world settling down after the rain. The silence is broken only by the soft crackle of the fire and the distant, fading whisper of the last few raindrops. The fire, our steadfast companion through the storm, is beginning its own slow descent into slumber. What was once a lively dance of bright orange and yellow flames has now mellowed. The logs have burned down, leaving behind a glowing heart of embers. The flames are smaller now, flickering gently, more like soft sighs than the roaring laughter they once were. They rise and fall with a gentle rhythm, casting a warm, pulsating light that feels even more intimate and comforting. The embers glow with an intense, deep red, a concentrated core of warmth. They look like a pile of precious jewels, each one radiating a quiet energy. The crackling and popping sounds that filled the room earlier have become softer, less frequent. Now, it's just an occasional soft hiss or a gentle pop, like the fire is murmuring to itself in its sleep. The camera, your eyes, lingers on this beautiful, fading spectacle. It moves in closer, allowing you to almost feel the radiant heat on your skin. You can see the intricate patterns in the glowing coals, the fine layer of white ash forming on the charred wood. It's a mesmerizing sight, a slow, natural process of transformation. This is the final act of the fire, a peaceful and gradual release of its energy. The warmth it provides is no longer a powerful blast, but a gentle, pervasive heat that seems to sink deep into your bones, chasing away any lingering chill. It's a warmth that encourages stillness, that invites you to stay a little longer, to simply be present in this moment of profound peace. The bookstore is filled with this gentle, fading light, a perfect backdrop for the quiet that has now enveloped the world, both inside and out. The last embers glow, a silent promise of warmth and comfort through the rest of the quiet night. A soft sound breaks the near-perfect silence. It's the gentle rustle of paper as the visitor at the table slowly closes their book, not with a definitive snap, as if the story is finished, but with a slow, careful motion. They place a thin ribbon to mark their page, a silent promise to return. They are not done with the journey held within those pages, but are simply taking a pause, a moment to rest and absorb. The story can wait. This moment, this deep and profound calm, cannot. It's a time for stillness, for letting the quiet of the night wash over you completely. The visitor's hands come to rest on the closed cover of the book, feeling its solid weight, the texture of the binding beneath their fingertips. A quiet sigh escapes their lips, a breath of pure contentment. Outside, the rain has faded into almost complete silence. You might hear a single, stray drop fall from a leaf or a drainpipe, but the sky itself is now quiet. The storm has passed, leaving behind a world that feels cleansed, renewed, and deeply peaceful. The only light now comes from the dying embers in the fireplace. Their glow is soft and low, a deep, pulsating red that bathes the corner of the room in a gentle, warm hue. It's just enough light to see the outlines of the bookshelves, the shape of the comfortable armchair, the still figure at the table. The air is cool and fresh, carrying the scent of wet earth and slumbering embers. It's a moment of perfect equilibrium, a deep and restful pause at the end of a long day. There is nothing left to do but breathe, to be, to sink into this profound and tranquil calm. Thank you for joining me in the bookstore tonight. I hope you found some peace here. Follow for more quiet moments like this. When the rain fades, the quiet grows deeper. The storm has passed, leaving only its memory behind. Outside, the world is draped in a cool, damp stillness. Inside, here in the bookstore, the warmth holds us close, a gentle embrace against the settling night. The frantic drumming on the rooftop has softened into a slow, deliberate rhythm. Just a few lingering drops now, tapping against the window pane like a soft, hesitant farewell. Each one is a final punctuation mark to the storm's long sentence. They fall with a quiet finality, spaced far apart, as if counting the seconds in the silence they leave behind. The sound is so faint, you have to listen for it. A gentle tap, a pause, ... then another. It's a sound of ending, of release. The air outside, once filled with the roar of the downpour, is now just a whisper. Inside this haven of stories, the atmosphere has shifted. The warmth from the hearth seems to have intensified, as if the receding storm has somehow sealed us in, cocooning us from the rest of the world. It's a pocket of peace, a sanctuary where time itself feels different. The fire, which roared to life against the tempest, has now settled into a low, steady glow. Its embers pulse with a soft, rhythmic light, casting a warm amber hue across the worn wooden floorboards and the spines of countless books. The frantic dance of shadows has ceased. Now, they stretch and rest in the corners, long and peaceful, no longer flickering with the storm's energy. The air is thick with the scent of old paper, leather, and the faint, sweet smell of rain-washed earth drifting in through an unseen crack. The world outside has fallen into a profound hush. The dripping from the eaves has slowed to a crawl. The ceiling fan above turns with a lazy, almost imperceptible grace, its blades barely stirring the warm air. It's a quiet so deep you can almost feel it on your skin. Here, there are no expectations, no demands. You can feel your shoulders drop, the tension of the day melting away with the last of the rain. A slow, deep exhale. It's a release you didn't even know you were holding on to. The visitor, nestled in a worn armchair near the fire, lets their head rest back. The only movement is the gentle rise and fall of their chest. Nothing is asked of them here. There is only the quiet, the warmth, and the silent company of 1,000 sleeping stories. Let's drift through the aisles for a moment, moving as slowly as the settling dust motes in the firelight. The bookstore is at its most peaceful now. There are no footsteps echoing on the floorboards, no rustle of turning pages, only stillness. Rows upon rows of books stand at attention, their spines a mosaic of colors and textures. They are silent guardians of this quiet place, each one holding a world within its pages, waiting patiently. They stand together in the dim light, a vast, sleeping library of dreams and histories. The air is so still that you can almost hear the building itself breathe. A faint, distant creak from an old floorboard upstairs, a gentle settling of the foundation. It's not a sound of disturbance, but a reminder that this old place is alive, that it has weathered countless storms and will weather countless more. It has a history, a soul, and tonight it shares its profound peace with us. The fire is a bed of soft, glowing embers now, its heat a gentle, radiating comfort. The visitor sits motionless, their hands resting calmly in their lap. Their eyes are half closed, not in sleep, but in a state of deep, meditative rest. The world outside the window is a canvas of deep blues and purples, the first stars beginning to pierce the clearing night sky. The soft glow from the embers catches the faint glimmer of a gold title on a nearby book, a tiny spark in the surrounding dimness. There is no need for words, no need for movement. The silence isn't empty, it's full. It's filled with the weight of stories untold, with the peace that follows a storm, with the simple, profound comfort of being safe and warm. The last raindrop has fallen. The silence is now complete, stretching out, unbroken. It wraps around you like a soft, heavy blanket. The embers in the hearth pulse one last time, a slow, fading heartbeat before they too surrender to the night. The shadows merge and deepen, softening the edges of the room until everything becomes a gentle blur of warmth and darkness. The world outside is asleep, and in here, we find a stillness that feels as if it could last forever. There's a tranquility in this moment, a sense of timelessness that can only be found in the quietest hours of the night. It's a peace that seeps into your bones, a calm that quiets the mind. There is nothing left to do but be, to simply exist in this perfect, unending stillness. Let it hold you, let the quiet deepen, and rest. The night doesn't hurry, and neither does this place. The rain has finally softened, its patter on the roof now, a gentle, constant hush. Outside the large window, the streetlights cast long, shimmering reflections on the wet pavement, painting the world in gold and silver. But in here, among the books, the only light that matters is the soft glow from the lamps and the warm, dancing flames in the old stone fireplace. Each sound is a small, reassuring pulse in the stillness. Tick, tock. Another second gone, another moment of peace settled in. It's well past midnight now. The city outside has finally surrendered to sleep, its usual hurried rhythm slowed to a near standstill. The last car has long since passed. The last footstep faded into the damp air. Here, inside, the warmth is a constant, a gentle embrace. It's a fragrance that speaks of stories, of time, of quiet contemplation. The silence isn't empty. It's filled with the quiet presence of thousands of books, each one a world waiting to be discovered. Their spines line the shelves like sleeping sentinels, standing guard over the quiet hours. In this deep, tranquil dark, the world outside fades away. There are no demands, no deadlines, no noise. There is only the soft ticking of the clock, the gentle whisper of the rain, and the comforting warmth that wraps around you like a familiar blanket. A soft creak of the floorboards breaks the silence for a moment. It's the sound of a slow, unhurried walk, a quiet patrol through the aisles of sleeping stories. The guardian of this space moves between the tall shelves, not with the urgency of a searcher, but with the calm purpose of a keeper. The footsteps are measured, soft on the worn wooden floor, a familiar sound in the deep of the night. It's a routine born of love for this place, a quiet ritual to ensure all is well. A hand reaches out, fingers gently tracing the spine of a book bound in dark green leather. It's a light touch, almost a caress, a silent acknowledgement of the history and the magic held within its pages. There's no need to pull it from the shelf, no need to read the title. The connection is one of familiarity, of a long-standing friendship. Moving on, another shelf, another quiet moment of connection, a slight adjustment to a book that leans a little too far, a gentle push to set it right, a quiet nod of satisfaction. This isn't a chore, it's an act of care, of tending to a garden of words. Every book has its place, every shelf its own distinct character. The history section stands tall and solemn, while the poetry corner seems to whisper secrets into the warm air. The guardian knows them all, not just by title or author, but by feel, by the weight of them in hand, by the stories they've shared over countless quiet nights like this one. A quiet sentinel ensuring the peace remains unbroken, that the stories are safe until the morning light returns. The soft footsteps circle back, drawing closer to the heart of the room, to the welcoming warmth of the hearth. The firelight washes over the room in waves of orange and gold, a warm, living light that feels ancient and eternal. A soft pop from the hearth, a gentle rustle of a page somewhere in the stacks, the steady tick-tock of the clock, it all merges into a single, unified rhythm. The rhythm of the night. The warmth from the fire seeps deep into your bones, chasing away any lingering chill from the damp night air. This is a moment suspended in time, a perfect stillness found in the heart of the sleeping world. The air is still and warm. The scent of wood smoke hangs gently, a comforting aroma that speaks of shelter and safety. The scene holds, unbroken and unhurried. There is no need for movement, no need for words. For letting the deep calm of the bookstore seep into you, filling you with a sense of peace that feels as though it could last forever. The shadows are long and soft, and the world is reduced to this single, perfect space, a chair, a glowing hearth, and the silent company of books. The embers glow, a silent promise that the warmth will last through the night. Time stretches on, but it no longer matters. The long watch continues, a vigil of peace, a celebration of stillness. The light from the embers slowly softens, the deep red fading into a gentle, glowing silence. Everything is still, everything is at rest. The night is held in a warm, quiet embrace, and so are you. When even the clock feels tired, silence takes over. Everything slows. The world outside fades, leaving only this quiet room, this moment. The rain continues its gentle rhythm against the glass, a soft, steady murmur that doesn't break the silence but deepens it. Here, in this stillness, you can finally hear your own thoughts, or maybe you can let them go entirely. The old clock on the wall, usually so reliable, seems to be losing its will to measure time. Its familiar tick-tock, once a constant companion in the quiet hours, has begun to soften, to stretch. Each second feels a little longer than the one before it. The space between the ticks widens, creating pockets of pure, uninterrupted silence. It's as if time itself is taking a deep breath, holding it, and letting it out slowly. The sound doesn't vanish completely, not yet. Instead, it melts into the background, becoming part of the room's gentle hum, just another layer in the symphony of quiet. You might find yourself listening for it, only to realize you can no longer distinguish it from the soft whisper of the rain or the low, steady warmth of the fire. The fireplace, once a lively source of crackles and pops, has settled into a deep, quiet glow. The flames have died down, leaving behind a bed of rich, red embers. They pulse with a slow, hypnotic rhythm, a silent heartbeat in the center of the room. There's no sudden hiss, no sharp crackle of wood giving way. There is only a constant, unwavering warmth that radiates outwards, filling the space with a soft, amber light. The embers cast long, gentle shadows that barely move, painting the walls in hues of orange and deep brown. The air is still, heavy with the scent of old paper, wood smoke and rain. This isn't an empty silence, it's a full one, thick with peace and the quiet energy of a fire settling in for the night. The world has been reduced to this simple, profound state, a warm glow, a soft light, and a silence so deep it feels like you could reach out and touch it. It's a silence that wraps around you like a warm blanket, a silence that asks for nothing. Now we drift, weightless, through the empty aisles of the bookstore. The camera glides slowly, a silent observer in this sleeping world of stories. There are no footsteps echoing on the wooden floors, no rustle of clothing, no creak of a floorboard underfoot. The only movement comes from our own gentle passage through this labyrinth of knowledge. The tall, dark shelves rise up on either side, standing like silent sentinels guarding their treasures. They are packed with books, their spines a mosaic of colors and titles, each one a doorway to another world, another time. But tonight, they are all closed, all resting. The air is so still that tiny dust motes, invisible in the bustle of the day, become performers. Caught in the warm golden beams of light from the fireplace, they float and drift in lazy, intricate patterns. They dance in the air, a slow, silent ballet that speaks to the profound stillness of the room. There is no one here to disturb them, no one to rush past and send them scattering. They are the only sign of motion in a world that has otherwise come to a complete and peaceful standstill. The silence in these aisles is different from the silence by the fire. It's a reverent silence, filled with the quiet potential of 1,000 untold stories, all waiting patiently for the morning. The armchair by the fire, the one that offered such comfort just a short while ago, now sits empty. It holds the impression of someone who was just there, a subtle dip in the cushion, a warmth that still lingers in the fabric. It's a ghost of a presence, a quiet reminder of the peace that was found here. On the small table beside it, a book rests, left open. Its pages are splayed, held in place not by a hand, but by the sheer stillness of the air. The story is paused mid-sentence, the characters frozen in time, waiting for their reader to return, but the pages do not turn. No gentle breeze from an open door, no slight shift in the atmosphere causes them to flutter. Time feels suspended, caught in this single, perfect moment. It's as if the entire bookstore is holding its breath, waiting. The scene is a portrait of tranquility, a captured moment of perfect peace. The empty chair isn't a sign of absence, but a symbol of rest. It has served its purpose for the day, and now it too joins the rest of the room in its deep, quiet slumber. The open book is not an interruption, but a promise of a story to be continued when the world decides to start turning again. For now, there is only this quiet tableau, beautiful in its simplicity and its profound stillness. The journey ends where it began, with our gaze resting on the fireplace. The embers continue their slow, silent pulse, a beacon of warmth in the deepening quiet. They are the heart of the room, their glow the only light in the encroaching darkness. The shadows they cast are long and soft, barely moving, creating a gentle, breathing effect on the walls. The play of light and shadow is mesmerizing, a subtle, silent dance that could hold your attention for hours. The bookstore seems to hold this silence gently, cradling it. It's not an oppressive quiet, but a nurturing one. It's a silence that allows for rest, for contemplation, for simply being. There is no beginning and no end to this feeling, just a continuous, peaceful present. The rain has softened even more, now just a faint, distant whisper, a lullaby for the sleeping world. As we watch the embers glow, we feel time dissolve completely. There are no minutes, no hours, only this endless, serene moment. The world outside, with all its noise and demands, has ceased to exist. There is only the warm glow, the gentle shadows, and a quiet so profound it feels like the universe itself has fallen silent, just for you. The peace is absolute. Thank you for sharing this quiet time with me. If you enjoyed this moment of peace, consider subscribing for more tranquil escapes. Sweet dreams. Now it rests. All that remains of the dancing flames are these deep, ruby-red jewels, nestled in a sea of soft grey ash. Now, in the final moments of the night, we can appreciate their sacrifice. The embers breathe slowly, their glow pulsing like a sleeping heart. The silence of the pre-dawn hours is punctuated by small, deliberate sounds. The soft scrape of its legs against the floor is a respectful, quiet sound, careful not to disturb the sleeping peace of the room. A book, its final page turned, is closed with a gentle sigh. The soft thud of its cover meeting the pages is a sound of completion, a story finished, a journey concluded for now. A table lamp, its brass arm cool to the touch, is adjusted slightly. Each movement is slow, mindful, and full of a quiet reverence for this space. It's the gentle tiding that happens when you're a guest in a quiet house, not wanting to wake the host. Here, the host is the morning, and we are simply preparing the room for its arrival. These small actions are a way of showing gratitude for the sanctuary the night has provided, a way of putting things back in order before a new day begins its own story. One last time, we let our gaze wander across the shelves. Every book rests in its designated place, a perfect, orderly universe of knowledge and imagination. The air is thick with the unique perfume of the bookstore, a scent that speaks of history, adventure, and quiet contemplation. This is the heart of the place, this vast library of sleeping stories, each one waiting patiently for the right hands to open it. Morning hasn't fully arrived yet, but it's close. You can feel it in the air, a subtle shift in temperature, a change in the quality of the light. The rain has softened to a barely there mist. The world outside is holding its breath, poised on the edge of a new beginning. Thank you for spending this quiet time with us. If you enjoyed this peaceful atmosphere, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more calm moments. Morning doesn't arrive suddenly. It slowly remembers us. A gentle light, a quiet thought, a world awakening. The rain has stopped, leaving behind a silence so complete you can almost hear the earth breathing. In here, surrounded by stories, the morning feels like a secret being whispered just for us. The first rays of dawn are touching the windows now, soft and hesitant. They slide across the glass, illuminating the lingering raindrops like tiny jewels. Outside, the sky is a pale washed-out blue, a clean canvas after the night's storm. Inside the bookstore, everything has changed. The shadows that danced in the firelight last night have retreated, replaced by a gentle, diffused glow. The space feels calmer, softer, lighter. It's as if the whole world has been hushed, holding its breath in this quiet moment. The chairs, once pulled close to the warmth, now stand like patient listeners in the cool morning air. The heavy oak tables reflect the new light, their surfaces smooth and cool to the touch. The patterns in the worn rug, the grain of the wooden floorboards, the slight fraying on the edge of a lampshade all are part of this morning's story. The air itself feels different, crisp and clean, carrying the scent of rain-washed streets and damp earth, a fragrance that mingles with the timeless perfume of old paper and ink. Only a whisper of warmth remains, a gentle heat radiating from the stones. If you hold your hand close, it's a ghost of the comfort it gave, a reminder of the shared stories and quiet contemplation from the hours before. The hearth is a landscape of soft, grey ash, undisturbed and delicate, like a fine layer of snow on a winter morning. It holds the shape of the logs that burned so brightly, a perfect imprint of their final moments. There's a deep tranquility in this stillness. The fire's work is done. It battled the storm's chill and won, leaving behind this peaceful aftermath. The room still holds the memory of its heat, a feeling of safety and contentment that has seeped into the very wood and fabric of the space. Looking at the quiet fireplace, you can almost hear the echoes of the crackling logs and feel the radiant heat that warmed our faces. It's a beautiful, gentle end to a powerful force, a testament to the cycle of energy and rest. The warmth is no longer a roaring presence, but a subtle, comforting thought, a promise that it will return when the evening comes again. For now, it rests, and the whole bookstore rests with it. A soft click, and a door opens. A sliver of fresh morning air drifts in, cool and invigorating, carrying the scent of damp leaves and the clean metallic smell of the city after rain. It's the first real sign that the world outside is stirring. A figure moves through the space, not with the hurried energy of a typical day, but with a slow, deliberate grace. Each movement is gentle, careful not to disturb the profound peace of the morning. Hands straighten a slightly crooked chair, restoring its perfect alignment. Another set of hands smooths the creases from a blanket left draped over an armchair, folding it with care. The curtains, which were drawn tight against the night's storm, are opened just a little, allowing a brighter stream of sunlight to spill onto the floor. There is no rush here. The beginning of the day in the bookstore is a ritual, a quiet ceremony of preparation. It's about creating a welcoming space, not just for people, but for the day itself. Every small action is an invitation for the morning to settle in, to make itself at home among the shelves. The soft shuffle of feet on the wooden floor is the only sound, a rhythmic, comforting beat in the otherwise silent room. This is how a day should begin, not with an alarm or a list of tasks, but with a gentle presence, a quiet intention to welcome whatever comes next with calm and readiness. Now, let's drift past the shelves once more. In the new morning light, the books seem to be waking up. They stand at attention, their spines a kaleidoscope of colors, ready for new hands to choose them, for new eyes to wander through their pages. The sunlight, now bolder, slants across the room, touching the gold lettering on a leather-bound classic, making it gleam. It catches the edges of the paper, creating a soft halo around each volume. You can see the dust motes dancing in the sunbeams, tiny glittering stars in their own private galaxy. They sparkle and swirl, a silent, magical ballet in the morning air. Each book is a world waiting to be discovered, a promise of adventure, knowledge, or escape. They are patient, silent companions, holding centuries of thoughts, dreams, and histories within their covers. As the light grows, it reveals the textures and details we missed in the firelight, the subtle wear on a beloved spine, the intricate design on a cover, the sheer, overwhelming number of stories packed into this one room. The bookstore is not just a place, it's a living, breathing entity, and this is its moment of quiet awakening. Soon, the doors will open, and the world will rush in. But for now, in this precious, fleeting quiet, it's just us, the books, and the gentle, hopeful light of a brand new day. Thank you for sharing this quiet morning with me. If you enjoyed this moment of peace, consider subscribing for more. Storms pass, readers come and go, but some places always remain. The night has finally receded, taking the rain with it, but leaving behind a deep and profound quiet. It's a quiet that has soaked into the very wood of these shelves, settled into the spines of the books, and now lingers in the soft morning light. The world outside is waking up, but in here, time moves to a different rhythm. The bookstore is fully awake now, yet it holds on to the stillness of the night. The windows, once streaked with rain, are now clear, offering a view of a world washed clean. The lamps, which burned so brightly against the darkness, are now dimmed, their glow a gentle whisper rather than a shout. Shadows are short and soft, huddling close to the floorboards and the legs of tables, no longer the long dramatic figures of the midnight hour. Every surface seems to hold a memory of the storm, a coolness to the touch, a freshness in the air. The scent of old paper and rain-soaked earth has mellowed into something warm and comforting. The familiar fragrance of a safe harbor after a long journey. The quiet from the night is still here, a tangible presence. You can almost feel it, a soft blanket draped over the entire space, muffling the distant sounds of the city as it begins to stir. It's the kind of silence that isn't empty, but full of stories waiting to be read, of thoughts yet to be thought, of the peaceful hum of a place that is utterly and completely itself. This is the bookstore in the aftermath, the calm continuity after the drama of the storm. The space breathes, it waits, it remains. Even as the morning brightens and the world outside picks up its pace, the bookstore keeps its calm. There are no loud sounds here, no sudden movements, no sense of rush or urgency. The feeling of the night hasn't truly left, it has simply transformed. The quiet has shifted from a deep, nocturnal slumber to a gentle, daytime meditation. The air is still, the dust motes dancing lazily in the beams of sunlight that now pierce through the high windows. It's a stillness you can feel in your bones, a tranquility that slows your own heartbeat to match the unhurried pulse of the room. You find yourself walking softer, breathing deeper, your movements becoming more deliberate, as if not to disturb the peaceful atmosphere. The rustle of a turning page is the loudest sound, and even that seems to add to the serenity, rather than detract from it. This is a place that exists slightly out of step with the rest of the world. A pocket of peace where the relentless march of time seems to pause. The energy is one of gentle repose, a space that invites you not to do, but simply to be, to sit, to read, to think, to exist without the need for performance or productivity. The chairs are empty, but they don't feel lonely. They feel expectant, patiently waiting for the next reader to settle in. The stillness and daylight is a rare gift, a reminder that peace can be found, not just in the dark and quiet of night, but also in the gentle, unassuming light of a new day. The bookstore holds this peace effortlessly, a constant in a world of variables. Let's take one last look around, a slow, deliberate journey through this familiar landscape. Our gaze drifts, revisiting the places that have become anchors in this sea of calm. There's the well-worn reading chair in the corner, its leather creased and softened from countless hours of use. You can almost see the ghosts of readers past, curled up with a book, lost in another world. Its arms seem to offer a silent invitation, a promise of comfort and escape. Then, the camera pans to the large window, the one that framed the storm so perfectly. Now it frames a quiet street, a canvas of everyday life painted in the soft hues of morning. The glass is clear, the view unobstructed, a portal between the tranquil interior and the moving world outside. We drift past the towering shelves, their spines a mosaic of colors and titles. Each book is a universe unto itself, a potential adventure, a source of knowledge, a friend waiting to be met. They stand in silent community, a testament to the power of stories. And there, the fireplace, its hearth, cold and swept clean. The embers are long gone, but the memory of their warmth still radiates from the stone. A subtle heat that speaks of shared comfort and cozy evenings. Everything is exactly where it should be. There's a profound rightness to it all, a sense of order and permanence that is deeply reassuring. Nothing has been disturbed. The teacup remains on its saucer. The bookmark lies in its half-read novel. This final tour isn't about seeing things for the last time, but about appreciating their constancy. It's a quiet acknowledgement that in this place, things endure. We find ourselves settling near the window again, our journey through the bookstore coming to a gentle close. There is no dramatic ending here, no grand finale. There is only continuity. Outside, the street begins its day in earnest. A delivery truck rumbles past, a cyclist glides by. People walk with purpose, their faces turned toward the tasks ahead. The rhythm of the city is picking up, a steady, familiar beat. But inside, the peace remains unchanged. The bookstore serves as a quiet observer, a silent witness to the world's comings and goings. The contrast is beautiful, the bustling energy of the street scene from a sanctuary of stillness. The light shifts, growing stronger, casting new, gentle patterns on the floor. The day will unfold, customers will eventually arrive, their footsteps adding a new layer to the quiet. Pages will be turned, conversations will be whispered, and the bookstore will absorb it all, its essential character remaining untouched. This isn't an ending, because a place like this never truly ends. It simply continues. It is a constant, a haven, a place that waits patiently for your return, whether in a day, a month, or only in your memory. It is a reminder that some things, some feelings, some places, simply remain. The camera holds its position, and then, ever so slowly, we fade out, leaving the bookstore to its timeless, peaceful existence. Thank you for sharing this quiet morning with me. Remember to subscribe for more peaceful moments.